Hello, everyone, and welcome back to episode 86. Merry Christmas and a happy Boxing Day to every single one of you. I hope that you had a beautiful day spent with the people that you love. I have spent a couple of days at my mum and dad's house with my granddad, and then later on last night, my brother and his family came round for a drink, which was very nice. So I must say, I have hit my mid-30s hard this year. I've been gradually getting gifts that are more house-like, more adult-like. In my head, I'm still like 15 maximum. But this year, I was given a Ninja dual air fryer. And also, wait for it, a big gift bag full of high-quality vitamins and minerals. And I know I sound like I'm taking the piss, but I truly couldn't be happier with those gifts, along with all my other lovely gifts. So I'm feeling very grateful today. And if you didn't have a great Christmas and it was not the Hallmark movie, matching pyjama, snow globe, festive experience that you dreamed of, then I'm sending you all my love, and I hope that you know there are better days ahead, because we are on the cusp of a brand new year, which I love. I'm very excited for a new year. I am one of the weird people who actually loves January. So currently, as I'm recording this, it's Boxing Day, and I am a walking, talking pig in a blanket. I'm wearing my new snuddy from my lovely friend Gail, and I'm at mum and dad's house, and my mum is maniacally hoovering and tidying and mopping the house to try and get it back in some sort of order, whereas I, on the other hand, am the shape of a fucking barrel. I'm still eating quality streets for breakfast with a chaser of Rennies, and I'm just learning to embrace and to love this extra chin that I've grown over this last week or so. I'm using it as a cushion to rest my head on as I sit in my pyjamas scrolling endlessly on TikTok during this cheese and biscuit space and time abyss between the 25th and the 31st. So, yeah, I hope you've had a lovely Christmas. I have thoroughly enjoyed mine, and I'm looking forward to this next week and this new year that's coming up. So today, I wanted to share with you a little concept that I think will help you if you ever find yourself trapped in that feeling of almost like waiting to be happy, waiting for a manifestation to come in until you are happy. Because people like us who are interested in growth and in self-development and having those big juicy goals and massive visions for our life, I think can sometimes fall prey to feeling like we're going to be happy when these things happen, because we get really focused on all the incredible things that we are creating and these experiences that we are waiting to arrive into our 3D experience, and then end up missing out on what's happening right now because it doesn't maybe quite align with the vision that we're manifesting. And as you know, I am a massive, massive fan of living as if it's already done, because it is. There's no doubt about that in my mind. Once you have decided what you want and you are living from that end vision and making decisions from there, it's already done. But something to keep in mind is that there will never really be an end vision, even though we kind of have this idea of our end vision right now. It will evolve, because when we reach that point in our vision, our awareness will have expanded on what's possible for us, and at that point there'll be even more incredible experiences to be excited about. So it's really important to remember that while you can absolutely be super excited about all of the experiences that you are creating and live as if they are already here in your 3D, and I would actively encourage you to do that, you are also living right now in the 3D in some of your past manifestations, and we sometimes forget to acknowledge that and to kind of pause and see how far we've come and be really grateful for all of the things that we have in this very moment in our 3D experience. And there's a quote that I love, and it always reminds me to do exactly this. And the quote says, "Remember the days when you prayed for the things that you have now." So at this point, I would like you to pause for a minute and just notice that even though You might not be quite where you want to be in every area of your life, and there might be some things that maybe you feel frustrated by, or you might have some kind of perceived problems of what's going on in your life. At some point, there will be parts of this 3D experience that you're having right now that you will have visualized, that you will have wanted, that you will have manifested, and maybe even prayed for what you've got right now in this moment. Personally, I know that I have got so many things in my life to be grateful for, and I love reading back through my old journals to see what I was manifesting like a few years ago, or a year ago, or even a month ago, because it makes me realise that the vast majority of those things and those experiences that I was manifesting are now a part, or have been a part of, my 3D reality. And a lot of them, you don't even notice them, because they just kind of, you're living as if it's already happened, and it feels very normal to you. But when you look back, which is why I love journaling, because I think it's such a good tool for lots of things, but one of them being seeing how far you've come, you'll see that those things that you once wanted and were going after are now a part of your experience. So a few of them that really stand out clearly in my mind, I'm going to share a couple of them with you to just kind of get that point across. So one of them is the home that I live in. So when I moved out of my old house that I shared with my ex, I moved back home for a while, and that house that I'd lived in with him was another of my manifestations. I loved living there, and I'd looked at it and I'd said, we're having that house. Like, I used to live back to back with it, and I knew I was going to get that house, and I got it, and I lived in that. And then when we split up and sold that house, I moved back home for a while my new one was being renovated. And it took about 5 months, and despite me thoroughly enjoying being back home with my mum and dad, because I'm very close to them, I remember just thinking how excited I was and how grateful I was at the prospect of having my very own home that nobody else had bought, with my own space and nobody else living there, and having it done up exactly how I wanted. And I live in that home right now. That is my home. I've manifested that home. And in fact, sometimes I just walk around it and I'll like stand in each room and just feel like grateful that it's mine, and think, ooh, you've got this, like, this is yours, you've created this. So because I'm kind of used to it now, and I know, I live in it every day, I kind of take those moments to be grateful for it. And I know that eventually I will probably move into a bigger, fancier house, no doubt, when the time is right. But what I have right now in that respect is exactly what I manifested, down to it having the bathroom that I envisioned and me creating that. So another one for me, which might sound like nothing, but was in about 2020, I wrote in my journal, and I read this back and I was kind of shocked at it. I think I've mentioned this one before, but I wrote that my biggest manifestation was just to be able to relax my shoulders, because I was so stressed at that point in my life from my job and other things that were going on at home. My body had actually forgotten the muscle memory of how to relax my shoulders, and they were just constantly touching my ears. And right now, I honestly cannot remember the last time that I felt stressed for more than a few minutes, and the stress now is just something getting on my tits a bit. And I think, how incredible is that? It might not sound like much, but living without stress is so much more of a gift to me than a £1 million yacht ever could be. And those things are lovely, but they are not as important as things like having peace. And that's something that I have got now, and I really, really struggled to imagine having that at one point, and that is something that's a part of my reality now, and I'm so grateful for it. And the last and the most important one to me, example of living in your manifestations, is having my dad and my mum, of course, healthy with me this Christmas, because just a few short years ago he was not healthy, he was unwell, and he was having treatment for melanoma, and there was literally nothing in the world that I cared about apart from him being healthy again and still being here. I didn't want any amount of money. I didn't want a bigger house. I didn't give a shit about anything. All I wanted was for him to be healthy again. And now here he is a few years later in full health, still here, living his best life. So I'm very, very grateful for that. And that just goes to show that there is nothing more important than your own health and the health of the people that you love. So if you have that, even if it's not perfect, and even if you don't have a pot to piss in financially, you haven't got any money, you don't have the house that you want, you're not in the job that you want, you are more abundant than most people. £1,000,000 is absolutely delightful, but it's no fucking use to you if you're not well enough to spend it and spend it with the people that you love, because everyone knows when somebody is not well, there is nothing that's important anymore, that you only have one priority, and that is the healing of that person or yourself or whoever it is that you care about. So if you and your people have got your health today, even if it isn't quite where you want it to be grateful for that, because it's not something that everybody has, and it's something we should take time to give thanks for. So I remember being in school one day, and one of the year 3 kids came up to me, so they're like 8-ish, and he come to our desk and he said, "Miss Waddington, yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, but today is a gift, and that's why they call it the present." And I remember thinking, fuck me, that is deep. And I was so taken aback by this wisdom that he shared with me that I asked him to go and write it down on a post-it note. And I walked into the staff room after the lesson, waving it at everyone, going, look at this, and proclaiming that we had this philosophical fucking genius in our midst. And I just couldn't get over it. And then one of the teachers went, "Oh, yeah, I love Kung Fu Panda." And obviously this child had failed to mention to me that it was a quote out of a kid's film called Kung Fu Panda. So I was completely amazed at his like deep appreciation for life. But either way, it's a great quote. I'm going to say it again. So yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, but today is a gift. That's why they call it the present. And being in the present moment is a fantastic way to find a bit of balance, especially when you're feeling kind of chaotic, or you're feeling quite stressed, or maybe you're feeling anxious or depressed. Because if you are thinking about the past all the time negatively, then you are likely to feel quite down, or even cause yourself to develop depression, because you're replaying these negative events in your mind that no longer exist, because all we've got is the present. And if you're thinking about the future all the time and worrying or wishing that things were different, then you're causing yourself to feel anxious, and worrying does nothing to benefit you or anyone else, and neither does mentally replaying negative memories that are no longer there. They're not real. They're just all that we've got is this present moment. So take time to be present and to give thanks for what you have already created. And the best way to do this is to go outside and use your senses. So taste your coffee and smell a flower and feel what the weather's like, and look at the sun and listen to the sounds around you. And you can put your bare feet on the earth and ground your energy, and realise that in this present moment, no matter what circumstances are going on in your life, you are safe in that present moment, unless, of course, like a fucking bird's chasing you or something, then run. But most of the time, if you are in that present moment, even if you've got loads of stresses, you can try it right now. If you're worrying about something or you're thinking about something, just look right now and connect to your senses and be in the present moment and realise you're safe. You're completely safe. Everything's good. It might not be extending to different parts of your circumstances, but in this very moment where you're sat right now, you are completely safe. Unless, of course, like I said, you're being chased by a bear. But that's a really, really good tool to keep yourself present, is connect to your senses and ground your energy. So what I would like you to think about then this week is, if I were the universe and I told you that exactly 1 year from now, you would have absolutely everything that you have ever wanted, without a doubt. It's already done. It is in the bag. You will be living in your dreamiest vision in exactly 365 days from now. But in order for that to happen, all of the things that no longer align with that vision will be gone before that date. How would you live differently knowing that? Let's think about a few examples of how that might work. So if you knew that you were going to be living, let's say, in a mansion in LA, but the little home that you've built for yourselves in your town where you grew up, that you're living right now, would be gone. That wouldn't be a part of your experience anymore. Would you look at it differently? Would you stop criticising everything that was wrong with it and appreciate all of its beauty and all of the memories that you've made, maybe of your babies, like waking up there on Christmas morning and unwrapping the presents? Would you invite all of your friends round for a dinner party in your kitchen to enjoy each other's company? Would you even walk your dog in the park near your house, or go outside and sit on the decking or the garden that you don't use and enjoy the view that you have become blind to? So think about how that would affect you if you knew that you would no longer live in the place you live right now. If you knew that 1 year from now you would have your absolute dream job, and obviously I don't know what that is unless you've already told me, but let's say something pretty lofty, like you were performing on Broadway. Maybe you want to be an actor or an actress, or maybe you want to be working on your laptop from a beach in Bali and have complete freedom of where you work. Would you make time then to go into the staff room with the friends that you've made and chat with your colleagues more, instead of always being busy at lunchtime? If you, let's say you're a teacher, would you look away from your computer and all the emails that you've got to respond to at break time or lunchtime, and would you go outside and have a game with the kids at playtime? Maybe instead of complaining about the traffic on your commute to work, would you turn the music up and dance in the car and smile at other people in the car, knowing that 1 year from now you won't be working in that job, you won't have those colleagues, you won't be stuck in that traffic anymore? So it's kind of like thinking about those negatives, or maybe the things that you're not as keen on, and reframing them to appreciate them if they were gone, if they were suddenly gone. So let's say that if you knew that 1 year from now that you would have a baby that you've always wanted, or that you've maybe struggled to get pregnant, let's say you were pregnant with a baby in a year's time, would you now, instead of stressing about, oh, am I going to get pregnant? Am I going to have a baby? Or is it going to be all right? All of that stuff. You're going to have this perfect baby. Would you appreciate having a lie-in on a Sunday morning more? Would you make yourself a cup of coffee and a nice breakfast and relax in the mornings and enjoy your time? Would you have nice long sleeps? So imagine that's something you don't get much of once you have a baby. Would you maybe plan in a few more date nights with your partner, so before you don't have as much time to spend together on your own? Would you go on a few more holidays and explore the world and go on longer flights while you've still got the freedom to travel without all of that shit you've got to take when you've got a baby? Let's say if you knew from in 1 year from now that you would have the body that you've always dreamed about. Let's say that you want a particular physique. Would you now stand in front of the mirror criticising every day the one that you have right now, knowing that this is the one that's got you this far, that has allowed you to have all the memories that you've already made? Would you stay on the shore and hide under a towel, or would you go and get in the sea with your kids and have fun without giving a shit what you think everybody thinks you look like, because you know that 1 year from now you're going to have exactly what you want? So let's do one more. So let's say that if you knew that 1 year from now you would be in a perfect relationship with your absolute soulmate, looks like it's chiseled from marble, beautiful, makes you laugh, wonderful, everything that you've ever desired in a partner, and that you would be spending the rest of your lives together in a lovely, healthy relationship. What would you do differently now, knowing that this is your last year of being single? Even if you've been thinking, oh, I really want to be in a relationship or whatever. Would you do things differently? Would you book a holiday with the girls? Would you make time to go and see your friends more? Would you enjoy more nights out with them? Would you bask in the absolute glory and the luxury of starfishing in your Super King bed on your own without anybody snoring or like elbowing you in the night, would you enjoy that no strings dick appointment knowing that this could be one of the last ones? So what I'm trying to say to you is that even though things might not be as they are in your vision right now in your 3D experience, they are as they were in a past vision, because that vision is ever changing and you are constantly manifesting. So whatever your 3D experience looks like right now, parts of that will be manifestations from the past. And everything is always changing. We're always evolving our awareness of what's possible, and it keeps expanding, and it always will keep expanding. There is no end point. So really make sure that you are enjoying the process and living fully while these things are as they are, because everything can change in an instant. And lots of what you enjoy right now in this reality will not be a part of your reality when you reach this vision that you've got in your mind, maybe even in a year from now or less. So be really grateful in the present while you look forward and be excited for the future. And always remember those days when you prayed for what you have right now. So this week, something that I'll be doing that I did last year, I think I did it on the 6th of January actually, but I'm going to do it a little bit earlier this year. It was just because I didn't get up to doing it. But this is a really good way to kind of see how much progress you've made and how your life has changed and what you appreciated a year ago or in a year from now, is to write a letter to yourself for next year. I have got a letter to myself that I wrote, and it's stuck up in my boiler cupboard in the kitchen, and I'm going to open that, and I can't remember what was going on in my life a year ago. I can remember parts of it, of course, but I can't remember what exactly I was thinking about, who I was spending my time with, what sort of things were going on in my experience, how I was feeling, just everything about like what I was looking forward to for this year. I wrote a letter and I wrote all of that down, and I'm going to do exactly the same this year so that in a year from now I can see how much my life has changed, and it'll remind me of all the things that I have to be grateful for right now. So that's a really good little thing that you can have a go at this week if that's something that you'd like to do. And if you haven't already, please come and join us in our private Facebook group, Positive Pig. And if you would like to win a 3-hour-long one-to-one with me, then you can visit my website, which is www.positivepig.co.uk, and send me a message with the heading manifest, and then you can be one of the first people to hear about what is coming soon on my birthday at the end of January, which I'm very excited about. So I hope that you have an incredible week and that you are staying in the present moment and being grateful for all that you have in this light little festive lull that we're in. And I'm wishing you a very, very happy new year, full of health and wealth and love, and my gratitude as always for your support this year, and I'm very excited for next year. So I will speak to you in 2024. Happy New Year. Have a wonderful week. See you later.